in March. That was the 40th anniversary of the public announcement that the U.S. is attacking South Vietnam, that U.S. pilots are bombing South Vietnam, that they began to use chemical warfare for crop destruction, started driving millions of people into concentration camps. This is all in South Vietnam. No Russians, no Chinese, not even any North Vietnamese, assuming they're not allowed to be in their own country. Just a U.S. war against South Vietnam, openly announced. No commemoration after 40 years, because nobody even knows. It's not important. If we do that to other people, that's normal. It's if they do something to us that the world is coming to an end. But if we do it to them, it's so normal, why should we even talk about it?
And likewise in Japan.
Yeah, same thing. Actually, it's better in Japan. Japan was defeated, and defeated countries are forced to pay some attention to what they did. Victors never are. I mean, take a look at the Tokyo trials. You know, undoubtedly the people were guilty of all kind of crimes, but the trials were a total farce. I mean, from a legal or any other point of view, they were disgraceful. And did anybody try the U.S. criminals? In fact, it's kind of interesting the way Nuremberg, the way the principles were constructed. They had to decide at Nuremberg what's going to count as a war crime, and there was a very explicit definition, and it was conscious. It's not hidden. A crime is a war crime if the Germans committed it and we didn't. So, for example, bombing of urban concentrations was not a war crime because the British and the Americans did more of it than the Germans did, so therefore it's not a war crime. And German submarine commanders were able to bring testimony in defense by American submarine commanders who said, yeah, we did the same thing, and they were there for free because it wasn't a crime. So if they do it, and it gets even worse than this. I mean, for example, opening the dikes in Holland was considered a war crime properly. But in North Korea, a few years later, after the U.S. Air Force had wiped out the whole country, there was nothing left to bomb, they started bombing the dams. That's a huge war crime. It's much worse than bombing the dikes. It was described, but it was described with pride. If you read the official Air Force history or the Air Force Quarterly and so on, they describe it in gruesome detail, but about what a great achievement it was to bomb these dams, to see the huge flood of water scooping out valleys and to see the rage of the people. So they're Asians who depend on rice. And, here we're really getting them where it hurts. And, I mean, it's just like racist fanaticism, but praised. That's just a couple of years after they hanged German leaders who were doing much less than that.